Welcome back, you tank enthusiasts, it's me, Matt, and thank you so much for stopping by on today's video. We're talking about main battle tanks again today, particularly the Leopard 2 and its beautiful 120mm gun, but a vehicle that's a little different in its development, the Panzer 87 140mm, which gives it the derivative of having a 140mm gun, which the Swiss military was actually very interested in installing. Now, the 120mm gun is very impressive, still to this day used in most Western armies, but a 140mm would have been incredible. Speaking of impressive, today's video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. If you're a crew commander right now, sat in your Leopard 2, you could be thinking, what could I do right now? Play some Raid Shadow Legends, it's a lot of fun. I personally play it myself on my cell phone, and I have an absolute blast doing so. I really enjoy summoning my favourite champions to actually go into battle with, and one of the key highlights for me is actually getting the giant bosses at the end. Some of the detail and graphics into this game are really enjoyable, and finding a clan to play with or a group of friends to play with is also really enjoyable and gets quite addictive after a while. Now, honestly, now is the best time to get into the game if you wish to, because there's a massive update they've just released called the Doom Tower. It's a giant tower with 120 floors, ton of secret challenge rooms, and 12 really cool bosses to actually take on. I've been having a really good time with it so far, taking on some of these bosses. It's quite difficult, but it's a lot of fun trying to get your team together to make it work. On top of that, Raid has also released a bunch of amazing new champions, and there'll be even more coming this month. With over 500 champions already in game, you have a lot to choose from. On top of that, this month's absolutely stacked in terms of special events too, with a load of awesome tournaments coming up through February, along with some special Valentine's Day events. There's never been a better time to dive in and get started. If you do have interest in getting into this game, go to the video description, click on the special links, and if you're a new player, you will get 50,000 silver, plus 50 gems, 1 energy refill, 1 clan boss key, 5 mystery shards, 1 day XP booster, and 1 free champion. Hexweaver, as you can see, is dressed for Valentine's Day almost. A little intensive, but really cool and quite good for new players overall as a champion. You're going to really enjoy this player, this character, to actually get you started in the game. All this treasure will be waiting for you just here in your inbox, and it will be available for the next 30 days. I hope you enjoy. So, let us get back to talking about this unique tank, the Panzer 87 140. Now, from its humble beginnings to the creation of this apex predator of tanks, the Swiss military has always had some very unique and interesting vehicles on the continent, largely thanks to the requirements dictated by its unique geographical layout. Now, you might be asking, what's unique about your run-of-the-mill Leopard 2? But, watch out, there's no ordinary Leopard 2 here. The Panzer 87 140 main battle tank is something that could be quite detrimental to the main battle tank world. Now, before I go any further, yes, I know that these are not Swiss tanks from Switzerland in this footage, but it's very difficult to find footage of these tanks, so if you have some and want to share it, I'll be more than happy to take it off your hands. First, as usual, a little bit of history behind the Swiss armoured forces. The defensively minded nation of Switzerland has been surrounded by Italy, Germany, Austria and France, and thus many of its tank choices reflect this. The Swiss military is well respected and was interested in tanks from at least the early 1920s. Not tied to any formal defensive treaty with other nations, Switzerland prides itself on neutrality, although it did have a strong link with Germany during the Second World War. Now, the Swiss had some rather interesting derivatives of tanks through its time, whether it be the Renault R35 to the Czechoslovak LTH, and they classified them as different names as the Panzer 35 and the Panzer 39. Interestingly enough, in 1940, Switzerland obtained a quantity of captured French vehicles. One source says that the French forces drove them over the border rather than surrendering them to the German forces, and thus the Swiss seized them, including the Renault R35. Lots of different variants of these tanks around the history of World War II was brought into place, and slowly we moved into the days of the AMX-13 light tanks being brought from France in 1953. They entered service as the Lichter Panzer 51 with a 75mm gun. Of course, the British Centurion tank was also at the forefront of Switzerland's armoured forces, and the Mark VII being brought in 1957. To further their supplies of Centurion tanks, which were clearly well liked in Swiss use, having beaten the American M47 Patton in Swiss trials in 1952, a third batch of Centurions was bought in 1960, this time from South African surplus. Interestingly though, in the late 1950s, it was a key time for Swiss tank building. They actually started producing their own designs like the KW30, which appeared in 1958. Work continued on improving this design in all aspects, turning the vehicle into a 38-ton Panzer 61, which was fitted with the excellent 105mm 52 calibers British L7 gun. Further improvements of the same design led to the appearance of the infamous Panzer 68 MBT in 1968. Now, the Panzer 68 is often mentioned as being one of the worst MBTs in service ever, and I would probably disagree with that. There's a lot worse out there. The problem with this tank was not that it's its bad design, but the fact it was plagued by serious issues made it quite practically unusable. And just like anything, committees were designed to try and figure out what was wrong with it. They designed their own MBT capabilities and started looking at using the newer Kampfpanzer, which was a project somewhat resembled of the Merkava with its turret shifted to the back and the engine to the front. It was a superb machine with advanced weaponry, hydraulic suspension and many other cutting-edge features. However, it required a lot of time and money, and therefore the program was cancelled. Instead, the Swiss decided to once again shop abroad, which brings us into the world of the Leopards. Now, the Leopard 2A4 model was adopted and called the Panzer 87 in Swiss service. The first production vehicle started with 35 vehicles from Germany, but in 1987 it moved to Switzerland for production, where a further 345 more vehicles would be built between 1987 and 1993. The Swiss Panzer 87 featured a number of small differences when compared to its German counterpart. They included prominent exhaust mufflers, making it quite quiet, and based on the demands of villages affected by military training, they needed it. Somewhat a different turret rear, slightly different shape with added camouflage net stowage boxes. Different machine guns, the Swiss 7.5mm MG87 by Bern, effectively an imported MG42 from the Second World War, American radio systems, grouses attached to the front end of the turret, extra position lights on the sides, and improved fire suppression system called Daruga. And a few more details. This way, the vehicles were almost really given a full overhaul, but still in service this day, despite being partially upgraded over the years, the original 380 of the only 134 vehicles are still active. In 1999, for example, the Swiss opted to buy the then German DM-53 armoured-piercing fin-stabilised discarding sabre round as the first foreign customer. 20,000 of these were ordered. But let's go back to the late 1980s and 1990s for a while. This was where, of course, the Soviet Union collapsed, and it was far from certain as to what the future would hold. In order to deal with the newest generation of the Soviet MBTs, one of NATO's favoured tank solutions was the development of the 140mm gun. These tank guns were true behemoths with incredibly high muzzle energy, with Germany, France, Britain and the United States developing their own models. Switzerland, not being a part of NATO at the time, did not actually have access to this research, and decided to develop a weapon of its own. RUAG, specifically the SW Swiss Ordnance Enterprise Corps Division, took upon itself to complete the task, and the first trials took place in the autumn months of 1989. It's worth noting that this was not the same gun as Rheinmetall's, nor did it come with the same research. The Swiss weapon, specifically, was a bit shorter. It was automatically loaded with 32 shells located in the back of the turret. The ammunition was two-piece, with the following rounds being available. The armoured piercing fin-stabilised discarding sabot tracer round was designated with a 14cm PZ Khan-File Pete Al LSP depleted uranium penetrator, and the high-explosive anti-tank MP round designated as the 14cm PZ Khan HL Pat MZ LSP with strong fragmentation effects. The kinetic round, according to reputable sources, could penetrate approximately 1000mm of rolled homogeneous armour. The prototype was fitted with an extra set of armour that's said to bring the protection levels roughly to those of the German Leopard 2A5 variant standards. It consisted of a turret kit of 230mm of thick elements with an additional armour plate mounted on the roof. The hull was unchanged, with the weight still increased to an estimated 61 tons, which for its main battle tank purposes of the day was perfectly acceptable. The armour bears resemblance to WE, or Werterhaltung, or Retained Value Kit developed from the standard Panzer 87 by RUAG. This was done in the early 2000s. The WE armour is rumoured to have titanium inlays and thus offering a high protection level. Currently, this armour remains a prototype as only part of the offered upgrade kit, offering outside cameras, new RCWS, redesigned smoke grenade launchers and improved fire control systems for the commander's optics. Despite some older news indicating otherwise, it seems that this upgrade was not ordered by the Swiss. What happened in the 1990s and 2000s is a bit of a mystery. With the fall of the Soviet Union, there was no real reason to keep this expensive program running, and it apparently became one of the victims of the 1990s budget cuts. However, in the early 2000s, news emerged about the testing of another 140mm main gun on the Panzer 87. This project was not adopted either, and the prototype, possibly from the same vehicle from 1989, apparently still exists, but images of it are rather rare and actual experiences of being around it are also very rare. Now, it's safe to say that the 140mm gun is something that is still being looked at today. We've seen, Rheinmetall and other countries around the world looking at upgrading their main battle tanks with bigger guns, but you open a bit of a Pandora's box when you upgrade a main battle tank such as a 140mm gun, because the ammunition change is really, really drastic. That changes the, type of ammunition you're storing in the turret storage is different, the loading of it is different. It's not as simple as just changing the barrel of a gun, and we've talked about this on my channel a few times before, but I think it is time to look in the future of gunners being able to use that 140mm capability, because at the end of the day, 120mm will eventually not be able to do the job that we're asking it to do against some of the more upgraded modern armor packages out there. We need more velocity and more punch. Some people would disagree, but I really do feel that bigger caliber guns are going to be the future of main battle tanks. It's only a matter of time. But sooner or later, we're also going to find the limited capability of what main battle tank guns can do. We can't make them so big that we can't actually operate them, and the guns and the tanks are just so heavy that it would just make a nightmare driving them around. Anyway, I hope you learned something about this really cool main battle tank, the Panzer 87 140mm tank. Of course, never actually put into full service, more of a concept or a design engineering wish list, but I'd love to actually see a tank with the 140mm, and I can safely say that Germany would probably be one of the quickest and more, prominent tank producers of the world, with Krauss-Maffei and Rheinmetall, all those guys producing these kind of weapon systems. I'd be really excited to see what they could develop for the future. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. If you did enjoy, please leave me a like. If you want to be notified of any upcoming content in the future, please click the little bell by the subscribe button. You can also check out my link description box below for my Patreon and PayPal, and thank you to everyone who's been supporting me on there financially, or any contributions you make are really, really appreciated. So thanks again. I hope you have a wonderful day, and once again, thanks for Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Go check out that description box below to get those free, cool content packages. All the best. Bye-bye.